everyone. I'm really hoping I'm live right now. This is my first time ever going live, so we might have some technical difficulties. We'll see. Click here if anytime. I'm gonna figure this out as I go. So today, I am so excited to try this live. We are going to be talking about how to prevent burnout in 2020. Basically, last week, if you saw my video, I was at rock bottom, essentially. And I was so ready, I was so sick of week-to-week video that the Thanksgiving week, when I took the break off, I totally allowed myself to 100% unplug, relax, not think about work. And then on Sunday, all the ideas started turning. And I was like, yes, I'm ready for the week. Let's make this happen. I'm feeling refreshed. And so I've been brainstorming how can I prevent this burnout situation of week-to-week video in 2020. So in this video, I want to teach you guys how to plan your video content calendars for social media in 2020. So let's dive in. All right, looks like I have 2 live viewers. Can you guys hear me? Drop it in the comments. I'm curious. Yeah, I got a thumbs up. Okay, awesome. All right, so the way that I started doing this, does my audio sound okay? Let me know. This is all testing for me. So anyway, the way that I started doing this was first and foremost, grab a piece of paper because I want to go through this with you as we're doing it together. So either grab a piece of paper, open up a Word doc or something like that. I should probably silence this audio. So we're going to first lay out every single month in the year. So just write January all the way to December. Now I have gone through and counted the number of weeks in each month just to make sure that we know exactly how many weeks are in the year, right? So we know exactly, well, duh. Okay, back up for a second. So we know how many weeks are in each month. There you go. All right, so in January, there are 4. It basically goes 4 in January, 4 in February, 5 in March. So for each quarter of the year, you're going to have 13 videos per quarter. Now, this is assuming that you want to do weekly video. This is what I'm doing. So I'm basically just sharing what I'm doing so that you guys can just take it and implement it as you wish. And you're gonna see very quickly, whenever I was doing this experiment, it's interesting to plan ahead versus being reactive because you see just how many obstacles there are to avoid. And so I'm very excited to do this with you guys. Okay. You got it? Did you write down all the months in a Word doc? All that? Okay, next thing you're going to do is you are going to write out any potential personal roadblocks that you're facing, that you could face. So I know for a fact that anytime I moved during this 1.5 years of doing YouTube, it was a total, it totally tripped me up. Anytime I went on vacation, it would also trip me up. So as you are looking at your year, next year, look at which months you're planning to take trips, maybe when the holidays are, plug those in, just write it out like in bullet point form. Now, if I was more advanced, I'd show you how I did this on my computer, but I don't know how to show the screen, so maybe next time. So number 1, outline each month and how many weeks are in that month. So it goes 4, 4, 5, 4, 4, 5, blank, 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 right? Number 2, write out any potential personal roadblocks and holidays. So let me kind of walk through how I did that. So in January, I'm gonna have my course launch. So that's gonna be something that you should all mark on your calendar. January 15th, my friends. Can't wait. Then in February, I have the next thing actually. I'll just tell you guys all the tips and then we'll go through kind of how I'm thinking about this as well. So this all makes sense. This live thing is actually kind of fun. I'm enjoying it. Are you guys enjoying it? All right. So step number 3, you want to write out any conferences that you want to attend and any promotional periods that you plan to have. So if you have high seasons where you know that you're going to be like this is the time to optimize booking clients, making sales because of holidays or whatever. I want you to mark those in your calendar right now or on this piece of paper. This is your virtual calendar right now or whatever. So here we go. Outline weeks, write out potential personal roadblocks and holidays, write out conferences and any promotions. And then I want you to analyze the brainstorm your mindset within your industry for each quarter. And once again, once we lay out these steps, I'll show you kind of how I went through and did this for my brand. So it kind of all makes sense, and we'll kind of reflect back and forth on these as we go. So those are the 4 main tips to get started. And you're going to look at that and you're going to say, okay, wow, no wonder weekly video content is hard. There's obstacles every single month, right? So actually, you know what? I'm kind of figuring this out as I go, guys. I appreciate all your love as I do this. So let's go through mine now that we have kind of all the obstacles laid out. And then we'll do the next step together, which is going to be analyzing your months and deciding on your batch days. More on that in a second. So in January, I'm going to have a course launch. So I know that that's going to take up a lot of my bandwidth in terms of promotional content and just like focusing my efforts there first and foremost. Obviously, that involves the YouTube channel, but I want to keep in mind that kind of the content that I should be creating around that time should be related to the course launch. So in February, there is a conference that I want to go to. It's a 2-day conference that last year it popped up. I was invited to speak at it, and I'm hoping to be invited back to speak at it this year. So I want to save those days and have no work going on at that time so that I can actually attend that conference. So I have that in February, and I was kind of potentially thinking about traveling in February. We'll see. I need to lay out the travel plans, so we'll see how that goes. Then in March, I'm going to have 5 videos in March because there's 5 weeks in March. There is 2 conferences, and I'm not totally sure if I'll go to both, but I wanted to outline them and decide whether or not I would. So Social Media Marketing World is happening March 1st through the 3rd, and South by is happening, or at least the interactive portion, which is the main part that I love to attend. And if any of you guys come along to South by, hit me up because it's awesome. That is March 13th through 22nd. The whole city goes crazy. I would love to just not work during that time and actually like take off and do it. So we'll see. So that is kind of gives you an example of the things that I need to be considering for January, February, and March when actually outlining my content. So I would take those and plug those dates into the calendar, review those 3 months, and look at any remaining days that I have left. Then, next step. Let me make sure I get I'm not missing anything. Analyze any remaining days. So step 5 is to analyze any remaining days if you are tracking along. Then we are going to mark the batch recording dates. Is everyone following this? Let me know in the comments. Let me read some of this. How are you taking into account the amount of searches people are making for that particular topic during that month? All right, we'll get to that. That's a little bit different than this. So the topics aren't going to happen until the very, very end. So like our topic brainstorm, this is purely, let's look at the obstacles, let's analyze what it looks like to create weekly content and plan for those obstacles before they arise so that we aren't reactive like I've been this year, which is miserable and it causes burnout. So, all right, so we're going to mark batch recording dates. Now let me explain why you want to batch your content. And you might already know this, but basically when I reflect upon this last year, the time that YouTube was easy, which it really should be challenging, but for some reason it is, the reason it was easy is because I was batch recording content. So I'd film 4 to 5 videos at one time in one sitting, and then you can send off all that video to outsourcers to be edited. And from there, it's just a matter of like writing your emails, creating the thumbnails, and it becomes so much easier compared to week video. So this is why we're outlining the obstacles ahead of time, because what happened to me was I, was batching every single month, and then I'd have a month where I moved and I didn't have a place to batch, and I would start doing weekly content, or I would be traveling or whatever. And so we're going to plan for that ahead of time. And another thing that I thought of, just throwing out ideas kind of here, if you are in the midst of a move and you don't have a place to record your content, my plan is to use someone else's house that is settled, that looks good, that is well designed, and just ask if I can just film there. So for me personally, I could shoot at my mom's house, I could shoot at my sister's house, I could shoot at my dad's house, or even rent an Airbnb and go record 4 to 5 in that location. That would definitely still like reduce stress, even if I had to pay for an Airbnb for one day, instead of having to be like, try to do this week to week content. So no matter what, there has to be one day to batch record content each month. So lay out all those obstacles and choose your day. Mark it on the calendar before the year starts. Okay, so troubleshoot. Okay, so say there are a few months where it just looks like batching is not going to be an option. Say that you want to take a 1 month trip to Hungary, which I like to do. So if I don't want to be recording content while there, I might consider mega batching the month before that. So I will do, instead of sitting down and filming 4 to 5 videos in one day, I might sit down and film 8 to 10 videos in one day, or do 2 days of content where I'm filming 4 in one day and 4 in the next day. So once again, planning ahead. I'm super stoked for this. Who else is excited about this? Drop it there. Ooh, the Airbnb tip. Yeah, I got you. Okay. So then from there, you have your date for when you are actually going to record this video content, which, by the way, if you don't know how to record video content and do this whole batch recording thing and how to edit your videos and how to create talking head videos that look epic like this, right? Live video. Then January 15th, my friend, that is what my course is all about. It's going to be a bingeable course on how to do that. If you want to get an early start, you could hit me up on Instagram, AHVisions. I might be willing to do some beta testers still, so hit me up. Anyway, otherwise, January 15th, plan it. Put it in your budgets. It's gonna be epic. All right, just spent an hour with my program director planning social media and videos. Love that. What tips do you have in addition to the ones that I am explaining right now? All right, so once we have determined our dates for shooting the videos, we still have to edit those videos, right? So you have to plan for editing. So how are you going to do that? Are you going to outsource editing? Are you going to do it yourself? If you are going to do it yourself, you have to plan days that you are going to get those done. So the next step, which if you are tracking along, we had step 5, analyze remaining days. Step 6, mark batch recording days. Step 7, troubleshoot when batching seems impossible. Consider mega batching. And then number 8 is to look at editing deadlines. So you are going to actually plan when each video is due. And you don't want it due the day that you need to upload it. Have it due ahead of time. What I am trying to do, which I'm still in the midst of working on, but it is coming, is building an outsourcing system for you guys that you can just go to this service. I don't want to give away too much right now because it's still in the works, but ideally you have a solution for your outsourcing, but you still have to have deadlines for those. So say you do 4 to 5 videos, you ship it off to the editor, 2 weeks later, those videos are due, then like say a week later, you're actually using those videos. So you can kind of see how you really have to start planning ahead. Yeah, I know, Chris. Isn't it awesome? Got it working. All right, so then another thing, if you're hiring, what is your budget going to be? So start outlining that and putting it in the different respected months so that you can plan ahead for it instead of having it catch you off guard. Then the number 10, you are going to brainstorm your topics. So Daniel, this is where the question that you had comes in. I'm not going to even start brainstorming my topics until I have this all outlined. And what's great about this is the way that we approach it. We can actually all be able to see like, oh, I'm going to be at a conference here. I can use people that I know are going to be there, do interviews with them, or I can just make a recap video of that conference, and your ideas might naturally kind of fall into place instead of having to arbitrarily create them. And I want to mention this too. Tip number 4 was, and I'm sorry that I didn't create like slides or anything. Next time I'll do this so it's a little bit easier to follow. But tip number 4 was to brainstorm the mindset within your industry in each quarter. So as you're creating your topics, consider that, right? So the first quarter, everyone's super excited. 2020 is going to be the year, am I right? That's what we say to ourselves every single year. And then by the end of March, it's kind of like the morale starts to kind of shift. So April, May, June, through June is going to be a little bit different, right? It might be like this is tax season. You're having to deal with numbers and realize that things aren't as good as you thought that they might be and having to adjust. And then come the summer months when you're traveling, you're off. And then also consider, once again, your specific industry. So each industry will have different waves. All right. So that is kind of all I have planned for y'all. Any questions that have popped up along the way? Let me quickly recap all of the steps actually. So if you want to write them down, someone could even do me a favor and write them in the comments so that everyone can just copy paste these so that you have them. So step 1, outline the months or the weeks in each month. Tips, there are 4 in January, 4 in February, 5 in March, and it goes like that for each quarter. 4, 4, 5, 4, 4, 5. So write it all out into a Google Doc or whatever. Then you are going to, underneath each month, you're going to write out any potential personal roadblocks or holidays that are occurring during that time. That is step 2. Step 3, write out any conferences or promotions that you might have during this time. Step 4, brainstorm the mindset within your industry for each quarter. So you could do each month if you had some big months in the year, like if you are an accountant, then April or the months leading up to April are going to be a pretty big deal. So just kind of think about for your industry what might be happening, what might be good to talk about. Then step 5 is to analyze the remaining days of the month. Could probably combine that with step 6, but we're going to keep it all the same because why not? Step 6 is to mark your batch recording dates. So literally plug it into your Google Calendar because we all know if you don't plan it, it's not going to happen. And be sure to stick to it. That is my number 1 tip. So mark batch recording dates. That is step 6. Step 7 is to troubleshoot when batching seems impossible. Consider mega batching. So if you have a month where you can't record, film 2 months the previous month. Then step 8 is to look at editing deadlines and choose when those videos need to be completed so that you can stay up to date with your posting schedule. Step 9, if you're hiring, create your budget and plan it out accordingly throughout the year. And step number 10, you will finally brainstorm your topics. What do you think? Any questions? This is very motivating. Perhaps you can recap in an email. I could totally recap in an email. That is a great idea. So, if you are not on my email list, you should for sure go join that. Just go over to amandahorvath.com. It will pop up in the bottom hand corner, and you can just plug in your email and join my newsletter. I send out a weekly newsletter, and I would love to have you guys all be a part of it. And I will recap this. I will give you a little bit of time to get on the newsletter, and then I'll send out that blast. So go do that. All right. Any other questions before I sign off? We'll see. We'll see. Also, I wanted to say that I so appreciate you guys for all the love that you gave in the comments section on my last video and in my DMs on Instagram after this burnout video. I truly appreciate all of you, and it really inspires me just reading your or watching your stories on Instagram and reading your comments and seeing what you're struggling with. So it's really, really cool for us to all just be able to go through this together, and that was really apparent last week, so thank you. Any tips on selecting the length of videos you should be doing? Great question. It depends on the platform that you are posting on. Obviously, Instagram is 1 minute, although you can also create IGTV videos that are longer. So I would just say the general rule is that if you create the video to be as long as it needs to be for your topic. Don't make it any longer. Try to make it concise. For example, this video, not very concise, but we'll get better as I create more lives. I'd say it's a pretty good first live. All right, tell me why I always started with step 10. Yes, Chris, me too. I feel that. So we are going to start way earlier this year and make it way easier on our lives. All right, so with that, I am going to sign off. I have got to get to a job. So you guys have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Now I got to figure out how to end this thing because I don't know. There's the finish button.